back with another episode of the NBA 2K Rating Stock Watch, breaking down games from November 2nd. Looking for some movers and shakers in the ratings department. We got 5 games to break down. The Bucks beat the Pistons 117 to 89. Bucks moved up to 4-4 on the year. Every starter on the team is out of the lineup except for Giannis. 2K has not really realized that, as they've got Middleton and Drew Holiday active. Pat Connaughton, I guess let's start with Giannis. 28, 8 and 9, 4 blocks, 3 threes, 7 of 7 from the free throw line, showing some steady improvement from on some of his weaknesses. His rating might be going up. We'll see. Moving on into the year. Pat Connaughton all the way down here. Basically the second best guy on the team right now. 16 points, 4 threes. He is having a career year, 11 points per game, 5 rebounds per game, 30 minutes a game, 49% from the field, 38% from 3. So his rating clearly should be going up. Jordan Nawara had 16 points, but he's only shooting 37% on the season. So while I think his rating should go up, not too much. Bobby Portis added 12. He's still getting into form after missing preseason. And Justin Robinson, I haven't talked about him much on the show, but he's played every game for the Bucks so far, which maybe shows just how short-handed they have been. But he had 11 points, 4 assists, and 3 threes in this game. Probably the best game of his career. And obviously, if he's playing in the rotation for the team, I would have to recommend that his rating be higher than a 67. At least make it a 70. Come on, guys. He's been a pro for a while, etc., etc. Let's go over to Detroit, who they are not a bunch of pros right now. Dropped to 1-6. Jeremy Grant, 21 points, 4 threes, 24 minutes, but didn't get too much help from anybody else in this game. Sadiq Bey had only 4 points on 2 of 13 shooting. He shot 48% in his first 4 games, but now he's only shooting 26% over his last 3, so he's fallen off a little bit. Kade Cunningham, 6 points, 2 of 14 from the field, 0 for 9 from 3. He's now 3 of 22 from the field, 14% in his 2 games, and 0 of 14 from 3. So, while I wouldn't read too much into his first 2 games, I definitely do think that we should drop his rating just a little bit until he shows something offensively. Put him in the 78 range with the rest of these guys. Obviously, he's still coming into form, missed the preseason, and recovering from an injury, joining the starting lineup. It's a lot to ask of a young player, but all the same, if you're not effective, you're not effective, and I'm totally on board with bumping his rating back up once he shows that he can play at a high level. So let's go to the Heat, who beat the Mavs 125 to 110. Heat moved up to 6-1, best record in the NBA, along with the Bulls and Jazz. Jimmy Butler continued to exert his dominance on both ends. 23 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, 3 steals, 4 of 11 from the field, and 15 of 17 from the free throw line. So he is the one player who has not been bothered at all by the rule change. His contact was always legit. He didn't try to bullshit his way to the free throw line, so he's been totally fine. Bam, 22 and 13, only 1 assist. He's got a career low assist rate right now. Kyle Lowry is the first true point guard that he's played with in his career, and Bam's being featured on offense more now rather than facilitating. As a result, his defensive rebound percentage is also 50% up from last season. It's easily a career high, and part of the Heat's defensive dominance in the early going. He's also shooting 85% from the free throw line right now. So between these 2 guys, I would actually recommend their ratings going up. Kyle Lowry, 22 points, 5 rebounds, 9 assists, 6 threes, starting to hit form after struggling really badly in the first few. But if all 3 of these guys are clicking, it's easy to peg them as the championship favorites right now. They basically look like the Bucks of last year, with Lowry doing his best Drew Holiday impersonation. And Tyler Hero, he's playing like he wants 6th man of the year this year. 25 points, 11 of 20 shooting, 3 of 6 on 3. So he's also somebody whose rating I recommend going way up, really outplaying the likes of Duncan Robinson right now, as well as many other 2 guards in the NBA. Let's go over to the Mavericks, who dropped to 4-3. They're 4th in the Western Conference, but it sure doesn't feel like it. Luka, 33 points, 5 assists, 10 of 24 from the field, 3 of 9 from 3, 10 of 12 from the line. He had a couple bad games early on, but he might be starting to come into form. 10 to 12 from the line is also a good sign. He's had a couple games where he struggled from the free throw line. And he started at small forward with Porzingis and Maxi Kleber out, with Dorian Finney-Smith moving up to the 4. And I'm at this point, I'm just hoping that that sticks moving forward. Jalen Brunson, he had a great year last year, and he's been really good in the last couple games. 25 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 10 of 13 from the field in this one. He got the start with Luka moving up to the 3. And I think it's just time to put him in the starting unit. They need to get another ball handler with Luka, because Luka just tries to do too much. Nobody else on the team can create their own shot besides Luka and Brunson. So at the very least, probably we can get Brunson's rating up maybe a point or two. Like, he's probably in like the 79 range. He's having a better year than Tim Hardaway Jr. also, to be honest. And certainly let's get some separation between him and Moses Brown. Good Lord. Hardaway, for what it's worth, had 17 points. Unfortunately, they only got 21 points from the rest of the bench with Brunson out there. Obviously, a little bit of depth concerns with Porzingis and Kleber being out. Let's go to the Utah Jazz, who beat the Kings 119 to 113. Jazz moved up to 6-1. Like I said, NBA best in the West right now. Donovan Mitchell, 36, 8 and 6. He's starting to come alive after struggling in his first couple games. He's averaging 31 points over his last 3 games, so he might be going up before too long. Mike Conley had 30 points. He has 50 points in his last 2 games. He combined to have 48 points in his first 4, so he's red hot right now after missing a game. Rudy Gobert, he's having a career season. 12 points, 20 rebounds, 4 blocks in this game. He's averaging a career-high 16 points, 18 rebounds, which also leads the NBA. Career-high 72% from the field and career-high 71% from the free throw line. So his rating, I recommend going up. I think that he, really, impact-wise, like, he's a 90 overall player. He's probably the most valuable player and, like, the driving force of the Utah Jazz. So if they're going to be raising Mitchell's rating, they better be raising Rudy Gobert's rating right along with it. Bogey, 20 points. He's been solid, super underrated. Should not have a lower rating than Hassan Whiteside or Jordan Clarkson, for that matter, at this point. Clarkson, 2 points on 1 of 13 shooting in this game. It's safe to say that he won't repeat as 6th man of the year. 14 points per game on 34% shooting right now, 20% from 3. So clearly his rating needs to drop. He's not playing well at all right now. Checking out the Kings, who dropped to 3-4. Harrison Barnes has been the best King easily this season, and he is super underrated at 78, sharing the same rating with Marvin Bagley III, who is not in the rotation. 23 points. He's averaging a career-high 23, Barnes is. Buddy Hield, 19 points, 5 threes, and he's flying under the radar because of Tyler Hero. He's having a great year as a 6-man so far, and he's somebody whose rating I recommend going up. He might be the second best guy on the team right now. Fox and Halliburton, they combined for 27 points on 31 field goal attempts in this game. Compare that to Conley and Mitchell combining for 66 points. So the backcourt got rolled in this one. And De'Aaron Fox, his struggles have not been isolated to this game. He's averaging 18 points, down from 25 last year, 6%, 15% from 3. So clearly he's somebody whose rating has got to drop until he can get his scoring efficiency under wraps. Definitely should have a lower rating than Barnes at the present moment. And Davion Mitchell, he was solid, 18 points, 7 to 15 off the bench. His best offensive game, but obviously he's known for his defense, and given this 66-point outburst of Mitchell and Conley, obviously he couldn't make too much of a dent in their offensive efforts tonight either. Richaun Holmes, 10 points and 10 rebounds. Just really steady guy, holds down the front court. I'd personally have him like an 80-81, but that's just me. Let's go to the Phoenix Suns, who beat the Pelicans 112 to 100, moved up to 3-3 on the year. Chris Paul, 14 points, 18 assists, moved into 3rd all-time on the assist list, 6 of 8 from the field. Just usual point guard things. He doesn't need to shoot the ball in order to impact the game. JaVale McGee, Started for DeAndre Ayton, had 18 points in 19 minutes, 7 to 10 from the field. Probably wishes he spent his prime next to CP3. He'd be a much richer man, I think. Frank Kaminsky also had 17 points in this one. Likewise, getting burned with Ayton sidelined. Devin Booker, 18 points on 7 of 20 shooting, 6 turnovers. Not his best game. I do think that I've been thinking for like the last 2 years that he's been overrated by 2K. I'm not going to harp on it too much, but certainly like when you look at the years that like guys like Zach LaVine, Donovan Mitchell have had over the last 2 years versus what Booker has done, it doesn't make sense for him to have a 90 rating while those guys are floating around with 88s. So that's something that hopefully gets looked at. Michael Bridges, he also added 22 points. And the Pelicans, they are not having a great year. They dropped to an NBA worst, 1-7. Brandon Ingram missed this game with leg contusion. They're already without Zion, so they were out clearly even more shorthanded than they've been. Jonas Valanciunas, really only offensive weapon that they have right now. He had 23 points and 14 rebounds. He's averaging 20 and 15 on 50-50-90 shooting. So I would say that his rating should go up to like 84, 85. He's always produced at like a borderline all-star level. Just his defense is not like he's average at best defensively, but clearly somebody who can put stats on the board. The rest of the guys, though, they struggle to put points on the board. Devonte Graham, Nikhil Alexander-Walker, these guys combined for 22 points on 8 of 29 shooting. Alexander Walker in particular, like he's starting, but he hasn't really taken advantage of the opportunity. 14 points per game, 34% from the field, 27% from three. At this point, I'm starting to think that maybe he should go back to like a six-man role and get a steadier hand like Garrett Temple or Tomas Satoransky in the lineup. Josh Hart, for what it's worth, started for Ingram and had 16 points and 9 rebounds in this game. But clearly the Pelicans are going to struggle to put together some wins without the top talent on their team. And let's finish off with the Lakers, who beat the Rockets 119-117. Lakers moved up to 5-3, which makes them third in the Western Conference. I guess perseverance pays. Anthony Davis started at center again, worth noting. Davis had 27 and 9 on 11 of 18 shooting. LeBron, 30 points, 10 assists, 13 of 21 from the field. And Russell Westbrook, 27 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists, 10 of 21 from the field. We also have Carmelo chipping in 15 points on 6 of 9 shooting with 3 threes. And DeAndre Jordan had 8 points and 9 rebounds, 4 of 5 from the field, in only 16 minutes off the bench. So those are the lines that you more or less expected from this team when they put them together. Hopefully they stick with the small ball lineups because Westbrook just can't work with AD at the 4 and DeAndre Jordan at the 5. So it seems like they had additional spacing. Melo's usually going to join these guys on the court also, with Melo at the 4, LeBron at the 3. So that's given them the spacing that they need in order to succeed, and hopefully they just stick with it moving forward. And they've gone with that alignment for the last 2 games. If they go with it the third, I would just recommend changing LeBron and Davis's lineups to the 4 and the 5. And Dwight Howard was a DNP in this game, although I think he wasn't available rather than this being a DNP coach's decision. So that might be the reason behind the lineup change, as they don't have anybody else on the team who plays the 5. But all the same, it's not like Howard's having a great year or anything. Just stick with what's working and what was projected to work and what you guys were talking about doing. I think they moved off of it maybe because Trevor Ariza got hurt and they weren't really sure who they could start at the 3. Now that they found that they like Avery Bradley, he's starting at the 2 and Bazemore's at the 3. I think the Lakers are hopefully going to move forward with that lineup. But let's focus on the Rockets, who dropped to 1-6. Christian Wood, 26 and 16, 11 and 19 from the field, 3 of 9 from 3, 1 of 5 from the free throw line. So the 1 of 5 from the free throw line, he could have had an even bigger night. And worth noting that the Rockets lost this game by 2 points, so they could have even stolen the victory had he played a little better. Jalen Greene, he had 24 points on 9 of 15 shooting, 5 of 10 from 3. Despite this, I'm still recommending that his rating drop. This was his second good game of the year, and he's really been an all or nothing. He's shot 60% in his good games, 36% or worse in his bad games. In his 5 bad games, he had 48 points on 17 of 65 shooting, 4 of 32 on threes. In his 2 good games, he had 54 points, 20 of 33 from the field, 13 of 20 from 3, which is just fucking absurd. On the year, 15 points per game, but only 38% from the field, 33% from 3. That's more or less in line with what guys like Nikhil Alexander-Walker are doing. So, like, I'm okay with giving him like a 77 rating. He's being outplayed by Eric Gordon for the most part right now, but certainly he had a great game tonight, and hopefully he can stick with it moving forward so that we can ignore all those nightmare performances from the early part of the year. Jae'Sean Tate had a season high 20 points, 9 of 15 from the field, so keep an eye on him. And Kenyon Martin Jr. He hadn't played much prior to this, but he had 14 points, 2 threes, 6 of 8 from the field, and got 28 minutes as the backup center. Alperen Sengun moved into the starting lineup as Daniel Tice was a DNP, which that opened up some playing time for Kenyon Martin. 6'6", 215. Yeah, backup center makes sense. That's the new NBA. And that wraps things up on the new NBA. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new to this channel, where I'm going to be talking about 2K roster content all year. Like the video if you want to help the channel grow. And follow me on Twitter at Real2KInsider if you want to be alerted to when the videos go live and just my other thoughts on the NBA. And if you have any feedback, think I'm too high or low on a player, etc., let me know in the comments. Otherwise, I'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace.